4 centuries ago, humanity lived inside a very small universe. There were no telescopes, no photographs of distant galaxies, no spacecraft exploring the planets. The universe was simply whatever could be seen with the naked eye. To the people of the late 16th century, the truth seemed obvious. The earth stood motionless at the center of creation, while the sun, the moon, the planets, and the stars revolved around it. Everything in existence appeared to circle around humanity. It was a universe built for us. But while nearly everyone accepted this view without question, one man imagined something far greater. As the world prepared to enter the year 1600, that man sat alone in a prison cell. His name was Giordano Bruno. There comes a moment in every person's life when they realize they are not the center of the universe, that they belong to something vastly larger than themselves. During the 16th century, civilization itself was beginning to experience that realization. The first crack appeared when a Polish astronomer named Copernicus challenged the foundations of the known world. He proposed that Earth was not the center of creation. Instead, it was simply another planet orbiting the sun. The idea shocked Europe. Many religious leaders viewed it as an attack on Scripture. Among them was Martin Luther, who condemned the theory as dangerous and absurd. To many people, moving Earth from the center of the cosmos felt like moving humanity away from the center of God's attention. But for Giordano Bruno, Copernicus had only taken the first step. Bruno believed the universe was far stranger, far larger, and far more magnificent than anyone had dared to imagine. From an early age, he refused to accept intellectual boundaries. As a young Dominican monk in Naples, he became obsessed with understanding every aspect of creation. He read books forbidden by the church, explored ideas considered dangerous, and asked questions others were afraid to ask. Eventually, one of those forbidden books changed his life forever. Its author had been dead for more than 15 centuries. The ancient Roman philosopher Lucretius presented a simple but devastating thought experiment. Imagine standing at the edge of the universe and firing an arrow into the darkness. What happens next? If the arrow continues forward, then the universe clearly extends beyond what you believed was its boundary. But if the arrow strikes a wall, then that wall itself exists beyond the supposed edge of the universe. And if you stand on that wall and fire another arrow, the same question appears again. No matter how many times the experiment is repeated, the conclusion remains unchanged. The universe has no edge. It has no final boundary. It is infinite. For Bruno, the idea felt undeniable. The God he worshipped was infinite. So why should creation be limited? Why would an infinite creator build a finite universe? The thought consumed him. Then, at the age of 30, Bruno experienced a vision that transformed his life. He imagined awakening inside a universe enclosed by a giant shell of stars, a cosmic cage surrounding everything that existed. At first, the realization terrified him. It felt as though the foundations of reality were collapsing beneath his feet. Then he imagined breaking through. Beyond that wall of stars, he discovered a universe without boundaries, a universe with no center, no top, no bottom, and no edge. In that moment, Bruno saw something nobody else could see. The sun was not unique. It was simply another star, and the stars scattered across the night sky were distant suns of their own. Around those suns, he imagined countless worlds orbiting in the darkness, other Earths, other skies, possibly even other forms of life. Today, these ideas sound familiar. In Bruno's time, they were revolutionary. The experience changed him completely. The discovery of infinity felt like falling in love. Unable to keep the vision to himself, Bruno began traveling across Europe, preaching a new cosmic gospel. He spoke of an endless universe, filled with countless worlds. He believed that anyone who truly loved God would embrace a creation grander than anything humanity had ever imagined. Instead, he was met with hostility everywhere he went. The Roman Catholic Church excommunicated him. The Calvinists expelled him. The Lutherans rejected him. No matter where he traveled, Bruno found himself treated as a threat, yet he refused to remain silent. Then an opportunity arrived. He received an invitation to lecture at Oxford University in England. For the first time, Bruno believed he would be speaking to scholars capable of understanding his vision. At last, he thought, he had found an audience willing to listen. Standing before the intellectual elite of England, Giordano Bruno prepared to reveal a universe unlike anything they had ever imagined, a universe with no center, no boundaries, and no end. To Bruno, Copernicus had merely opened the door. He intended to walk through it. Yes, Earth revolved around the sun, but that was only the beginning. Bruno believed the stars scattered across the night sky were not tiny points of light attached to a celestial sphere. They were distant suns, burning just like our own. And if our sun had planets orbiting it, why shouldn't those stars? He imagined countless worlds spread across an endless universe. Worlds with oceans, mountains, forests, and perhaps even living creatures looking up at their own skies and wondering the same questions. To the scholars and religious authorities of his time, the idea sounded insane. For centuries, people had been taught that there was only one world, one creation, one center of existence. Bruno rejected all of it. He challenged not only accepted knowledge, but the very foundations upon which society had been built. He urged people to question authority, tradition, and even their most cherished beliefs, to begin again from first principles and examine the universe with fresh eyes. The reaction was immediate. Where Bruno saw liberation, others saw heresy. Where he saw a grander vision of God, they saw a direct threat to religious authority. Most people would have backed down. Bruno never did. He lived during an age when freedom of speech did not exist. There was no separation between church and state. Ideas were not merely debated, they could be punished. The wrong opinion could cost a person everything. Yet Bruno continued speaking. He continued writing, and he continued provoking powerful enemies. Then came the decision that would ultimately seal his fate. After years of wandering across Europe, Bruno returned to Italy. Whether it was homesickness, optimism, or simple stubbornness, nobody knows for certain. What is certain is that Italy was the most dangerous place he could have chosen. The Roman Catholic Church maintained a powerful system of courts known as the Inquisition. Their mission was simple: identify, investigate, and eliminate ideas that challenged religious doctrine. Before long, Bruno was arrested. The man who dreamed of an infinite universe suddenly found himself trapped within the walls of a prison cell. For 8 years, he endured confinement and relentless interrogation. Again and again, he was pressured to abandon his beliefs. Again and again, he refused. The church's determination revealed something important. They were not afraid of Bruno himself. They were afraid of what his ideas represented. Because if Bruno was correct, then accepted interpretations of Scripture could be questioned. If Scripture could be questioned, then authority itself could be questioned. And that possibility was far more dangerous than any single man. Eventually, the cardinals of the Inquisition reached their verdict. Bruno was condemned for multiple acts of heresy. Among the charges was one idea that stood above all the others: his belief that other worlds existed beyond Earth. His books were ordered destroyed, his teachings were condemned, and one final opportunity was offered: recant, abandon your beliefs, save your life. Bruno refused. Years of imprisonment had changed neither his convictions nor his vision. He remained convinced that an infinite creator had produced an infinite creation. Nothing could persuade him otherwise. The sentence was carried out. As he faced his judges, Bruno delivered a final act of defiance. Perhaps, he suggested, they feared the judgment they were delivering more than he feared receiving it. In February 1600, Giordano Bruno was executed in Rome. The church believed it had silenced him forever. It had not. A decade later, a scientist named Galileo pointed a newly invented instrument toward the heavens. For the first time in human history, a telescope revealed what naked eyes never could. The universe was larger than anyone had imagined. The Milky Way was not a cloudy streak across the sky. It was made of countless individual stars, and some of the wandering lights among them were worlds orbiting distant suns. Bruno never lived to see the evidence. In fact, he was not a scientist at all. He had no telescope, no observations, no experiments, no proof. His vision of the cosmos was, in many ways, an extraordinary guess. And like all guesses, it could have been completely wrong. But sometimes, a powerful idea changes history long before evidence arrives. Once Bruno imagined an infinite universe filled with countless worlds, the possibility could no longer be ignored. Future generations would spend centuries trying to prove him wrong. Instead, they discovered that reality was even stranger than he had imagined.